Hello and welcome to Jam Live with me, Anna. On today's show, I will be discussing the topic of just how easy it is to be a student with the pressure of deadlines coming up and dealing with financial issues. Jasmine Parr, a student journalist at the University of St Mark and St John, will be my special guest today. So if you've got any worries about deadlines or money, you can tweet me at Anna@JamLive and she will be able to answer any of your questions. Make sure you get your tweets in by 12:30 this afternoon. Jasmine joins me live now. Hi Jazz, thanks for joining me.
Hi Anna, you're more than welcome.
So you're a student yourself. How are you with money?
Yeah, I am indeed a student myself. I would say with money, I am pretty good with it. I had one scare back along where I went into my overdraft in minus 20. So I was in it by £20.
What did you spend that on?
I honestly can't remember. I know it was around about the time, it was summer, and I do remember that I had been out a lot with friends and I'd bought a lot of shoes and clothes, so I reckon that I just went on this massive spending spree and then went to check my bank. Excuse me, sorry, I've got a cough.
That's all right.
And yeah, I went to draw money out and there was nothing in it. So it was sad times for me.
That does sound like a sad time. So do you think it's a good idea to have a part-time job when you're at university?
I would say most definitely yes. Because, depending on where you're living and how much it costs you to stay there, the majority of people, or from my experience, find that their student loan is not really enough to cover your accommodation fees, and then have money left over until your next loan goes in to then, buy food and be able to live and support yourself. So I would say, yeah, but then you need to make sure that your work at uni comes first, because at the end of the day, you're paying £9,000 a year to study. So why waste it? Work should come first, ideally.
Definitely. So do you have any tips on how to save money?
I would say my biggest tip would be to look at your bank, look how much you've got in there, the amount, and then look at all your outgoings, so what has to come out each month, and then, deduct that from what you have going in, and whatever is left over, spend wisely, but kind of just make a plan.
So do you think it's okay to treat yourself once in a while?
Yeah, once in a while, I would say. I mean, I probably treat myself more often than not. But yeah, definitely, everyone's got to treat themselves.
What do you treat yourself to?
Oh, goodness, there's loads of things. I would say mostly shoes. I adore shoes. I have a shoe fetish. I think I literally can't buy any more because there just won't be enough room in my wardrobe for them. So, but definitely shoes or clothes or alcohol. The list is endless.
Typical student alcohol. Yeah. So we're going to play a game now to see how much of a university student you actually are.
Oh, how fun.
So I'm going to say...
That was not meant to be sarcastic, sorry.
So I'm going to say 2 words.
Yeah.
And you're going to say the word which you'd rather go for. So for example, I'm going to say vodka and tea, and you're going to say...
Vodka.
Fabulous. Okay, are you ready to start?
I'm ready.
Okay. Alcohol or food?
Alcohol.
What's your favourite alcohol?
Vodka, although I am partial just recently to a glass of rosé wine.
Do you drink that from the bottle?
Yes, maybe. I try to be sophisticated, but sometimes, if you had a long day, you've got hand-ins, you just need to get it down.
Have you ever done an American student and drank from a red cup?
No.
You need to try that.
I do, don't I?
Definitely.
Yeah, mix it up a bit.
So back to the game. Going out or studying? I don't know why
Good.
there's hesitation there.
Yeah, you can probably see from my face. Going out, I am ashamed to admit. Yeah, going out, definitely.
And where's the best place to go out to?
Well, I'd say Prism is my favourite place to go out. I don't mind walkabout, but I just find it too cramped. It's not big enough. But with Prism, you know, a bit of disco room, loving a bit of curve. Yeah, Prism 100%.
Well, I'll see you next Wednesday for Quidzin then.
See you there.
Shopping.
Drinks on you.
Shopping or saving?
Shopping.
Is that for trainers like you were talking about?
Yeah, trainers, perfume. I've got a bit of a perfume addiction just recently, actually.
It's always good to smell nice.
Yeah, it is.
Washing up or dishwasher?
Dishwasher. I'm saying this, but I have a dishwasher where I'm currently living, and I kind of just recently have been washing my dishes by hand rather than using the dishwasher.
Why have you been doing that? Who
I
wants to
actually-
hand wash when they've got a dishwasher?
I actually don't know. Why would you choose that? Maybe I'm just weird. Yeah, let's put it down as just me being weird.
Yeah, I think you're just weird. Washing your clothes at uni or sending them home?
This is, without a doubt, I'd love to say washing clothes at uni. But it's definitely sending them home. I only live 45 minutes away from uni. So definitely I take my clothes home. My dearest mother washes them for me. Although, actually, technically, I put the load in the washing machine and put it on.
Wow, that's really great of you.
I just use their equipment, and you know
They're electric.
they're electric and they're washing powder.
I'm sure they love you for that.
Yeah, well, I'm an only child, so you know they love it.
Well, that's the end of the game, and I think it's very clear to see that you're definitely a uni student. Jazz will be staying with me throughout the show today, so make sure you stay tuned. But now, as it's coming up to Christmas, students may be finding that their bank balance is as low as Flow Rider hitting the dance floor, with students having to pay their bills, food, and most importantly, nights out. I decided to find out what sort of funding was available to students and how they can provide help with their deadlines.
I'm Deborah Smitham. I am the Student Funding Advisor at Marjon University. Things that we can do to help students: we give general advice and support for students applying for their funding through Student Finance England, and if they have any issues there, we can phone up with the student to see what the problem is and see how we can help. We also offer budgeting advice, give students a general advice regarding debt and general advice regarding benefits, although we do always say that for specific advice they do need to go to the benefits office. We also run a university hardship fund, which is a fund of money that students can apply for if they're in financial difficulty, that we can award to them if they are eligible for it. We also have an emergency loan for students that have unexpected expenses that come up and need to borrow some money until their next funding comes in. The arrangement with the emergency loan is we discuss with them how much they need to borrow and what for, to see if they would be eligible for one, and then they need to sign an agreement to say that they will pay it back when their next funding comes in, and it's down to the student then to go to the finance department and pay it back when their next funding instalment has come in. I think from a student funding and finance standpoint for that, I think it's always good to prepare in advance. financially, we have some students that come in that have upcoming costs like dissertation bindings or books that they need for their assignments that they haven't planned for. So I think it's always good to plan in advance, or make sure you have a budget and you try and leave some money aside for some unexpected things that might come up.
So Jazz, how organised are you when it comes to getting your work done?
I would say I'm pretty organised. I always hit the deadline on time. I couldn't be one of these people that leave it till the very last minute and then till like a week before, and they've got like 3 modules that they've got to hand in, different portfolios, different stuff. Because I think I would have a mental breakdown if I did that. I mean, I've got a hand in that is due in tomorrow, and I've been prepared pretty much for half the week. I've had a schedule, got everything ready, got everything done, and yet still I felt like I was majorly behind and was still panicking, and it was pointless because there was no need to panic.
Keep calm and carry on.
Very true, very inspirational, thanks. I'll take that on board.
So you've never done an all-nighter then?
Not an all-nighter, no. I've stayed up till quite late, like 2:30, 3, but I've never gone from, like, say you start at like 6 at night until like 6 in the morning. Never done that.
Until your 3rd year?
Until my third year, yeah. I mean, I think my dissertation is going to be a whole new ball game. Kind of don't want to think about it at the moment because it scares me, but I'm aware that it is slowly creeping up. So yeah, maybe if you asked me that next year, my answer would be completely different.
I feel like when people have hand-ins due in, it's like a great time for them to take out Amazon Prime or Netflix. Have you ever done that?
I have done that. I subscribe to both of them because, after you've done work, I think, if you know that you've been productive and you've used your time well in the day, it's only right that you treat yourself in the evening, catch up on the latest TV show that you're addicted to, or a good movie, particularly this time of year, Christmas movie, nothing better than that.
Favourite Christmas movie?
Oh, that is hard. That is a very hard one.
Top 3.
I'd say Elf. I'd say The Grinch.
Yeah.
And I'd say Miracle on 34th Street.
Yeah, that's a great film. Well, thanks for
That's cool.
answering those questions. Now, have you ever been interested in the number one thing that students spend their money on? Well, I've always been intrigued to find out, so I was more than happy when the opportunity came up.
Charity shop clothes, definitely, for my guilty pleasure. I like shopping in charity shops.
Jack Daniels, and because it tastes nice.
Food, because I'd die otherwise.
Probably bus travel, because that's expensive, especially out this way.
So, Jazz, do any of those sound familiar?
Definitely one in particular being alcohol.
Yeah?
Yeah. Definitely alcohol.
That's a fair enough answer. You are a student. So, our listeners have been tweeting in their questions to ask you about deadlines and money. And the first tweet is from Miss AD27, and she's tweeted, "I have so much work to do and my deadlines are all on the same day." That sounds very familiar. "How do I know what assignments to start first?"
I'd say my best advice would be to make a schedule. Always start on the one that is going to take the most of your time, the majority of your time up. But just do a schedule and plan it and make sure you stick to it and don't procrastinate watching Netflix or Amazon Prime.
Good answer. And the second tweet is from Jack Griffiths25, and he has tweeted, "I've always been bad with my money and I always try to budget each month, but it never works. Please help me," in capital letters.
Okay, so I would just basically take my advice that I said earlier on in the show, Jack. All you need to do is just look at how much you've got going in your bank account each month, what exactly's got to come out, deduct that, and just spend your what you've got left wisely on the things that you actually need to live on.
That's some good advice there. So thank you, Jazz, for joining me today and giving some great answers to our listeners who tweeted in their questions.
Thank you for having me.
Up next, Steph Hawson will be discussing homelessness at Christmas. I've been Anna, and you've been listening to Jam Live.